All right, I think your zero just got in. I don't know if the delay is going to get that, but we do a countdown before we start every episode, and I'm pretty sure David's into his countdown, just got in the video. So welcome, guys. Welcome back to the Feelings Mutual. This is our second episode. Last week, we had, I think, 38 views on our introduction to David because he's so boring. Not many people
Yeah.
wanted to tune into that, so I don't blame you for that. So this week we brought you a little bit more of a relatable topic. And hopefully that 38 views can turn into over 100 at least. We'll see. Making a YouTube channel takes a long time to really show results anyway. So, David, how are we doing today?
Tired.
You're tired. I
Had a
bet
long
you are
day
tired.
yesterday. Have a long week every week.
We're, yeah, I am fresh off a 10-mile hike because
Oh yeah, we
that's
didn't
how
talk
we do
about
it.
that. How'd that go?
That was it was long. It actually wasn't that bad. We did it in 3.5 hours, which is like we were making 3 miles an hour. What real hiking is really good, obviously, making that kind of pace. We would have got finished a little faster, but Brad had some knee issues going up. He had to buy some last minute shoes because he forgot shoes at his house. Like so, yeah, it was a day. So we had to stop at Sam's Club, buy him some shoes, and then we started the hike finally at like 12 o'clock. But it was actually really fun and very draining. I was very tired last night. I woke up feeling very refreshed. So I'm actually good for this episode. All right, dude, do you want to tell the audience what our topic is?
Um, I think we're talking about how how dieting helps your mental and physical health.
That is
But
indeed topic.
before we get into that, since you
Oh
got
yeah, talk about what you did.
since you got to talk about what you did yesterday, I want to talk about what I did yesterday or last night. So I volunteered for a soup kitchen called Samaritan Ministries in Winston, and it was my first time, and I just wanted to do it because it's a nice thing to do, and um, apparently there's supposed to be more volunteers there. I was the only one that showed up. I was there from 4 to 7, and the demographics, I guess I kind of expected it to be the way it was. I didn't expect it to be just men, but that's what it was. It was probably about 25 males that showed up, and we just served like hot dogs, baked beans, salad, and sweet tea, I think. And it's kind of an eye-opening experience because, like, a lot of us, especially me, we take things for granted, and um, that kind of opened my eyes. Like, these guys don't have anywhere to stay, and part of it could be because their fault. It might be their fault, but part of it is because of the situation that they're in. But yeah, it just kind of opens your eyes up to how thankful everyone should be.
Yeah, no, that's probably a pretty. I wasn't surprised when you texted me and told me that there was only you there as a volunteer. I think part of it's probably because right now with the COVID situation, some people probably don't want to get caught up in that scenario because those people generally probably aren't as aware of social distance stuff like that. Maybe they are, but taking that chance, I can understand that a lot of people are probably a little anti that right now. And I would also surprise me if I found out that not many people do it, period. So that's also a possibility. But enough of the sad stuff. I'm proud of you for doing what you did yesterday, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, that's also understandable too. It's not really something that brings in, I'm sure, happy thoughts. Oh, this episode is sponsored by Plain Glass from Walmart.
It definitely wasn't. No, it wasn't fun. But I just want to mention two things before we start our topic. Finally, is
Goodness gracious.
so that's something like Dylan knows me better probably than anyone. That's something I would never do back in the past, especially not by myself. I'm a very introverted person. I'm a shy guy. I was even thinking about yesterday not going, but I was like, no, I'm trying to change. I'm trying to become not extroverted, but like I'm trying to get out there a little bit more. I'm trying to be a better person, and so I was like, I need to go. And although I more than likely won't go again, it was something that I think was good to do. And I think it was a week or two ago I went rock climbing at UNCG. They have an indoor rock climbing wall, and I was on the second easiest level, but I haven't rock climbed in like a year. And um, so I did the second easiest one, and I got the person I was with. She didn't finish it. Um, Not because she's not good at it. She just I don't know. But anyways, I got about 4/5 of the way up there, and there was like it started pushing outwards, and I was like, I stopped, and I was like, I do not want to go up any higher because I have a fear of heights, and I was really high, and I was like, I'm just gonna stop. But I was like, no, no, I got to keep going. I ended up finishing it, and those are just two things that I usually wouldn't do, but I'm trying to kind of get out of my comfort zone, so I did them.
No, pretty cool. Rock climbing is also very fun. You have to be at a level of somewhat flexible to do it. It's not even so much like upper core strength. Like at some point, you can push off like certain rocks with your feet and, you can take the weight off your arms, but like the fear of heights gets a lot of people, and also like you have to flex a certain way to get to certain rocks, and that's always been my downfall is the flexibility part the higher I get up. But I really enjoy it. That is a fun activity for sure. All right, David, let's dive in now. We've lollygagged enough on our way in uh, to the way that dieting can help your physical and mental health. So we chose this because we wanted to get away from some of the things we talked about in the last episode to be a little bit more original. And we'll kind of go back into some of those things we talked about in the first episode with David as we go on, and hopefully have some guests too. But with this one specifically, David, part of your growth has been your gigantic change in your eating habits as well as your working out habits. So just kind of explain to the audience some of the changes that you've made on your eating habits, and I'll pick up from there.
Okay, some of the changes for I want to say a few weeks, maybe around a month, maybe even longer. I was on this meal plan called Fresh and Lean. It was only lunch though, and had anywhere between probably around 30 to 50 something grams of protein per meal, and it was healthy, nasty shit that I fucking hated eating, but I was trying to lose the gut fat that I had and put on muscle at the same time. I had to stop doing that because it was just really expensive, and but yeah, so I switched to more um, where I'm only eating fast food on the weekends, and that's definitely helped. I notice never if I eat it more than the weekends, even if I just eat it on the weekends, still I feel kind of sick from eating it just because it's greasy food, and that can definitely mess you up mentally because it makes you feel bad. But I definitely think eating healthier. This is common sense, but it gives you more energy too whenever you work out, and it'll also help you gain muscle faster while you're eating healthier food instead of the fatty, greasy food that you get from like Hardee's and Zaxby's and all of those fast food restaurants.
Yeah, no, trust me, I just found out this morning that timing can also be an issue with what you eat, because I had morning tacos for breakfast because I had to throw something together real quick because I've been so busy this morning cleaning the house. As you know, the audiences know, I recently moved in with my fiance, so a lot of cleaning around the house we had to get done this morning. And so I had morning tacos. We had tacos the other night, and it's already rumbling in my tummy, so we'll be visiting them shortly. Yeah, so what you said is totally true. I mean, the way that you eat not only helps you, physically speaking, like more protein, less fats, a good balance of carbohydrates, things like that. I mean, there's a lot of people don't understand how you break. Are you frozen?
You were
Are
frozen
we
too. I
good?
don't know. That was weird. That's weird how we both get frozen, but oh well.
I hope that doesn't. Okay. Well, to any of the viewers of this video, that's not going to be able to be edited out. So I hope that that wasn't too distracting.
It's only like 5 seconds.
Uh, so, so like a good balance of all the different things that comes in food with carbohydrates, proteins, lower fat, low grease especially, will help the way that your body breaks down what you're eating to help you, refuel. And, we don't just eat to survive only. Like, it's what we get out of the foods is what really pushes us. That's why, like, if you eat enough fast food, sometimes you'll poop within, like 20 minutes of your eating and it'll be green. It's because your body didn't get to get any of the nutrients from it. It's kind of a nasty thing to think about, but the reason why your poop is brown is because all the food that you ate was like had nutrients taken out of it, and then the final result when it comes down is that it comes out brown. So like when you start eating the healthier things, like you're saying, those supplemental meals that are high in proteins and low in bad fats, sugars, acids, all that stuff, your body is doing less work to break it down, which means you're taking in more of the food, which makes you feel more full and more energized later. But the way you eat can also affect your, mental health. I mean, like the physical stuff is obvious. I mean, everybody knows for the most part how that works. But the mental part that I think a lot of people don't realize is not only do you feel more proud of yourself, obviously, when you eat healthier, but like scientists have showed at this point that what you eat can actually affect the way that your brain feels. Like, so like, obviously your emotions are like not or just things that your brain is computing based off of stress levels or like things that that you're joyous about, whatever. But what science has now revealed is like it's like the idea that you eat this hearty soup that makes your stomach feel all warm and you get that warm soup pot belly where you're kind of lazy. A lot of warmer foods can actually make you feel a little bit more tired because the warmth of the food necessarily kind of like makes you or kind of releases some of those endorphins to make you sleep more. So, or to be sleepy. That doesn't mean, every time you eat a hot meal, you're going to go pass out and go to sleep. But, so there's certain foods that trigger that. And, a lot of it can be dated back to what you were fed as a child. Like the idea of like warm milk helps you go to sleep at night. Like things like that really, can still, affect you later in life. So, you ate some of those supplemental meals. How expensive were those?
I want to say, I can't remember exactly. I want to say it was like $75 for 5 lunches a week,
That's a lot.
I think. Because it was like 13 or
That's a
something
lot of money.
per meal. And like I had to spend, because going to college was kind of like a last second, going back to college was kind of like a last second move, as you know. And I had to spend like 1,600 or something, 1,800, and that kind of broke my bank account. So it's like I got to cut something out, and that had to be one of the things. And but yeah, eating healthy, it doesn't taste as good, obviously, but it's better for you. But that's kind of why I do the whole weekend thing where I can eat whatever I want, because if I eat healthy during the week, then it's kind of like a little reward system on the weekend. Like you can eat ice cream, you can eat uh, Chick-fil-A or whatever on the weekend. So, but also, if
Yeah.
you, I mean,
Yeah.
you can eat Chick-fil-A on the weekend, or like I eat Chick-fil-A on the weekdays. But if I do, it'll be like grilled chicken nuggets with a side salad instead of like uh, regular chicken nuggets with fries or something and a Coke. So
Yeah, you got to monitor it. You can't go balls deep right out of the gate on the food that you take in. Because if you go too crazy on those weekends, then, it's going to kind of start to counterbalance what you did during the week totally. So, I mean, I do think everybody should have a cheat day. Like, I mean, I've went from eating about 6 times, like, during the week out, like whether it be dinner, lunch, or breakfast, like at least 6 days a week, or 6 times a week, I would say, if not more. And then, of course, like, I don't snack healthy either, or at least I didn't. So, and then like, I never went to the supplemental meals, of course, and I still don't think I ate extremely healthy, but I think that if you're somebody who doesn't want to go all the way in on eating totally healthy, I think that what you should do is kind of like what I've done is a more streamlined alternative where you try to eat home meals a little bit more often. If it's something that, is worse for you, a little bit more greasy, like those tacos, like you take smaller portions at a time, don't overload on it. And then, if you're going to do toppings, try to make sure that you don't, get the greasiest possible thing. Like if you're getting pepperoni pizzas and eating a whole pepperoni pizza, then you're going all the way over. But it's not bad to have 2 or 3 slices. So and there's a lot of meals, obviously, that are not good for you because of grease, fat content, things like that. So you gotta try to balance those things out. And what I do now is like maybe one dinner, one lunch a week. I try to, I might eat out, and then like whatever I get, I try to keep a smaller portion of because, like you said, if you go to McDonald's and you order like a double quarter pounder, and then you get a large fry and eat that, you're probably gonna feel pretty shitty later because if you're used to not taking in that kind of garbage into your system, it'll really fuck you up later. So you definitely don't want to deal with all of that, grease in your stomach and making you have to run to the bathroom as soon as you're done eating it, or just feeling miserable later, which when you eat fast food, you definitely can. And that's one of the things that I had read about this week is, when you're eating fast food, a lot of those acids and fats that are in the actual meal, it's really tough for your body to break it down. So it'll like sit in your stomach longer, it'll be more acidic, it'll be more greasy, and it takes a lot more effort for your stomach to break it down. So then, that'll affect your temperature levels, things like that. It'll really affect your body differently because it's such a toxin to what your body naturally wants, which is, like a great balance of all the, things that it needs daily, being, carbs, protein, all that stuff. So, trying to limit that and then the portion of it is a major part of this because, like, what we don't want to do is sit there and shame people who eat unhealthy, obviously, because, you're not going to tune into this if you're someone who's eating the supplemental meals that you were eating already. I don't think you're going to watch this video and try to take something out of it because we're sitting there telling you, yeah, we've done it. Well, you did that at least. So I think finding a good balance to it is the key. And then, so obviously the physical aspects, you're a great person that's because you used to eat bad and work out, and then you started eating healthy and working out. So tell them about the differences going hard in the gym when you're eating bad and eating good. You can probably do a little bit better at that than I can.
Kind of touched on it earlier. You have more energy, and yeah, I think I mentioned it in the first video. How I used to eat out like for lunch and dinner. Like I'd go grab Zaxby's for lunch, Chick-fil-A for dinner, or Cookout or whatever. And on top of that, I'd also eat a Mickey Mouse ice cream bar. So I was awful, like the worst eater out there. But yeah, you also feel more full whenever you eat like really bad foods like that, and you just don't have the energy to do the stuff you need to work out and get better and bigger and stronger and all that.
Yeah, the problem is when you take in those kind of foods, like I said, it just sits there longer, so your body's not breaking it down like healthy foods. Healthy foods can slide right in and out of you. Your body knows what it wants. It's kind of like a processing unit. Like when you put in something that it's used to and that it's comfortable with, it can flow right, smoothly. Then you start throwing in more complex issues. It takes longer to go through, and it could be more damaging to the body itself. So like when I was reading up on the way that your eating habits can affect your mentality, we talked about how warm soups can make you feel tired, and eating fast food can make you like feel kind of groggy and just like a little bit more miserable. When you start eating the healthier foods like that, it can make it'll make your brain feel more at peace, which can allow your endorphins that release happiness and feelings like that. They can flow smoother to your brain because your body's not having to spend more of that energy breaking down the actual fatty foods that we were talking about. So like when you eat a salad or maybe like grilled chicken, some kind of healthier meal like that, your body did less work to break it down. So now your body's less stressed from that and more able to feel enjoyment over like the little things that might happen in your life outside of eating habits. And that's what, we come back on this podcast and or on this video channel, sorry. We come back to this and we always want to remember our ultimate goal here is to try to help people reach you done? Their ultimate mental and physical, embodiment. We want them to find the perfect balance of those two things because I think that's what your happiest person. So what we're kind of doing here is just telling you, your eating habits, even if it's just a candy bar, all those decisions you make affect your not only physical feeling, whether it's, rumbling in your stomach or just feeling, tired and groggy. They also can help the way that your brain releases endorphins that affects your mood. So you can feel angry from a meal, you can feel happy, sad, all these things. Like there's so many things that we relate food to emotions to by TV shows and movies, but actually eating certain foods can actually, cause reactions with certain endorphins that make you feel certain moods. So I don't think you have to go to supplemental meal dieting. I think that's really expensive. Not a lot of people can afford that, and I don't even think you would recommend that realistically. I mean, if you can afford it, I mean, sure. And,
Yeah.
if you don't want to have a little bit that much flavor to your food,
Mm.
then feel free to dive in head first. But you definitely got to find some kind of balance between healthy eating, even if it's not fully healthy, it's just healthier, and have a cheat meal. I mean, I think at least 2 a week. I mean, not more than probably four, but you got to find that balance of what makes you happy with the food that you're eating. Because let's be honest, I mean, we love waking up thinking, we're gonna have a great dinner, great lunch one day. I mean, like, I'm sure there's times where you get up and you're like, man, I would really love Zaxby's right now, or someplace like that. I mean, I know I do all the time. Like, I mean, I made chicken teriyaki subs last night, and I mean, I was fully ecstatic to make it. And I know that there's nothing healthy about pouring a whole bottle of teriyaki sauce on, like, 3 chicken breasts and then cutting them up and making them into subs. Like, it's not healthy for you at all. But I mean, I was really looking forward to eating it. So, it's okay to have cheat meals, and I don't think that people are watching this for verification that it's okay to eat unhealthy or healthy so much. It's like you need to understand at least what you put in your body can ultimately affect the way that you feel and the way that you, not just physically, but mentally, no matter what the food is itself. So, David, I'm going to give you whatever, wrap up points you want, then I'm going to get us out of this episode.
I did want to mention 2 alternatives I've been doing for the past few weeks.
Give us some alternatives. I've been talking for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, you just been yapping. So one is I'd say I used to get like Snickers bars or Hershey bars or stuff like that, but now I've switched to like Cliff bars or Quest bars, which Cliff bars I'm pretty sure they actually have a lot of sugar in them, and any person you listen to that works out and eats healthy, they say cut out all the sugars, and I didn't notice like Cliff bars are promoted to be healthy, but I looked at their nutrition content on the back, and it said like it had however many grams of sugar. I'm like, that's kind of strange, but I guess for the energy, I guess. But
Well, also, it's because they want you to eat it because they want it to taste good. Like, the
yeah,
thing is about
that's true.
nutrition bars, they usually taste like shit.
And some of the times I do eat Quest bars because I really respect the founder or co-founder of it, um, why he made it, and um, he like those bars have like almost no grams of sugar, if any, and they obviously don't taste as good. But if you're looking for something healthier with less sugar or no sugar, then that's a good option. And then another thing, I switched from Monster and Red Bull to Bang energy drinks. Um, they have, I don't think they have any sugar, or they have a lot less sugar. Now, I don't think they taste as good. I would imagine most people don't, but they are healthier for you. Um, and I drink one of those, not every day, but I guess every day we have work. And those are just 2 alternatives that I've taken over the last few weeks.
No, I mean, sugars are something your body needs a certain amount of. Like, you hear about athletes, like, generally they eat a big carbohydrate based meal the night before games because, your body uses carbohydrates for energy. And I mean, you can train your body to base it off of protein, but you have to do special diets for stuff like that. And there's like 1,000 diets out there now that can affect your physical and mental health, so that for working out, doing your job, whatever it is that you want to do, or just losing weight. So there's all kinds of those, like the keto diet is meant to change the way that your body breaks down its actual, like instead of using carbs to get energy, you're breaking down proteins to do it. And, yeah, if you're going to do things like that, I mean, that's like a pretty big shift in your body. Like it's actually like a pretty gruesome process for like the first week or so, like with the way it affects your stool and things like that. So I think people definitely need to look into the way that the nutrition facts can actually educate you on what you're taking in. Yeah, the Cliff Bar thing is definitely because they want it to taste good, which is why it's usually the preferred bar by most people, is because it has like a certain amount of actual flavor to it. What are you smiling for? Did we freeze again?
You were frozen for like 10 seconds. I think
For
I
10
think
seconds.
I think Zoom's trying to create Frozen 3, but it's just not going to happen.
I think that that's trying to stop us from putting out this kind of information because we're not helping out the big companies selling bad food to
But
you.
Cliff Bar is probably that's got to be the most popular. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was literally saying before I got frozen. It's like it's definitely the most popular, and I think it's because it tastes the best of all the protein bars. And that's the thing is like a lot of times what makes food taste better than other foods, especially healthy foods, is because it has more fats, more sugars, more things that enhance the flavor but make it worse for you too.
yeah, like I haven't looked into everything about Cliff Bars, but like whenever you hear someone talk about protein bars or any kind of substitute for a candy or chocolate bar, they talk about Cliff Bars usually, and they think it's really healthy, but really it's not all that healthy. But
It's not.
one thing, one thing I also wanted to include, it just popped up in my head. So I've been on this like audiobook tear like over the last few months, just trying to. This kind of relates back to the first video, but there's this guy named Jay Shetty. He's kind of like he just came out with a book called Think Like a Monk, and I've been listening to it. I'm on chapter 4, and this relates well to this video because he he came across this monk who fasted for 7 days, and the reason why I bring this up is because like we kind of think that we need food, but we really don't. So like if you're trying to lose weight, you think you need that slice of pizza or that candy bar, chocolate bar. You don't really need it. It's just it's kind of in your head. Like now don't starve yourself, but um, like I'm just saying like it kind of relates to this because just like I said, you think you're hungry, but you're really not as hungry as you think you are.
Oh yeah, that well, it kind of relates back to how Navy SEALs train themselves to hold their breath longer. Is your body is so used to taking in oxygen whenever it wants that whenever you go underwater and you start to feel like you need the oxygen, you start to kind of panic more, and your heart starts racing, and your brain's panicking, thinking we need to breathe. Is because you're taking away something that you're used to getting whenever you want. So like what you're saying with that, like people that are dieting that feel that urge like they're really hungry, well, it might not just be that. It might be that you're just so used to not being restricted. And it's kind of like a mentality that we naturally have is we don't like feeling like we can't do something. And, we live in a free will based country where, we always think that if we want to do it and we can afford it, then we go do it. So yeah, definitely self control is one of the toughest parts of that. It's like discipline is the hardest part of working out, period, is you just got to make sure that, you stay committed and remember the goal. It's not about how much it sucks right now, but it's about, where we're trying to end up at. So definitely it
Marathon, not
can
a
be,
sprint.
excuse me, sir?
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. That's a good way to wrap that up. Okay, guys.
Hold
So
on.
we have three sports. Oh my goodness, you keep doing this one last thing. What's your one last thing?
I think does this come back to my ADD or ADHD where I keep thinking of random stuff?
Well, I
Anyways,
mean, it probably doesn't help.
anyways, we don't want to get political, or I don't want to, at least. I think Dylan's more open to it, but I don't want to get political, but this relates back to the first video, but I just want to bring this up, and also having like extra content that's kind of off the wall kind of makes the video more interesting. But so we all know that Donald Trump got COVID-19 the other day. Um, Even if you don't like him, you shouldn't hope that, or you shouldn't be happy that he got it or hope that he dies. Now I know he's doing better, but yeah, I'm not going to say my stance on what I am, but yeah, you should never wish, no matter how much you hate someone, that they get COVID-19 or that they pass away from it.
No, I think that that's actually an episode in itself, is the way that we handle things of this nature. Like, it bothers me when I see people watching a sporting event and like they're happy that the other team like loses a player to injury.
Yeah,
I think we get so caught up sometimes in our own lives that we forget that a lot of the people that are in front of us, even if we disagree with them on politics, sports, or whatever, they're people and they worked really hard to go and get where they are. And I think that we should respect that. And I mean, like, I don't know if I've said it on here, but if you go to my movie podcast, you've heard it before. I mean, I lean right politically. I'm not afraid, to admit it. I don't think that anybody should ever be. I don't think it should make you less likely to listen to this episode, or, these episodes, because I don't think that it has anything to do with what we're talking about. And, like David said, we don't want to really get political on here, but like, yeah, it definitely shouldn't be something that you should feel that way about anybody. It's just inhumane to hate someone that much. And I think we'll do an entire episode at some point, maybe our next episode, on the way that you just view people because you know them based off the limited exposure that you have, especially celebrities. Like we talked about, I think in our last episode, like the little bit of exposure we really have to celebrities and famous people is like, how could you ever really judge them based off your little bit of, exposure to them? Like, how could you, would
I
you like to be always judged based off of your failures or whatever's became public about you? Like,
you know I
that's
used
not
to
always
be
a,
I used to be really bad at that, but
yeah.
I got into some shit, so now I'm more open-minded about it. So
Yeah, I think a lot of people are like that until they realize just how, cynical it sounds. And, maybe that's what we'll do our next episode on, is just the way that people
give
deal
a
with these kinds of
sneak
things
peek.
mentally, and we can maybe give them a better outlook. That'll probably piss some people off, but that'll be funny. Um, so that's the end of this episode, guys. Feel free to, like, share, and subscribe, comment on it, let us know, some of the
Please comment.
ways that you done? Let us know some of the ways that you might be dieting or different alternatives you found. We can share them on this show, and just talk. We can revisit this topic. It's a huge topic. We spent about maybe 20 minutes on it in this episode. It can go deeper, a lot deeper, realistically. So we have three sites that we sourced. It'll be in the description below. Just click on those links and you can go read about some of the things that we might have left out, or just things that might pertain to you more directly. We know it's been 2 weeks since we posted. We're going to try to put out every episode, or an episode every Wednesday. We had some scheduling stuff go wrong with my move, so we couldn't release it, exactly last Wednesday. So every Wednesday, come back for more episodes, guys. David, you got anything to say?
Two last things.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I had to do a discussion board for a TED Talk video. I can't remember her first name, but her last name was Suzuki. Um, and this isn't so much about dieting, but it kind of relates to it because how it affects your mental health. So she mentioned this. This really, it really resonated with me. She said, when you exercise, or the more you exercise, or whatever, your hippocampus creates new brain cells, and I think that's really cool. I had no idea. And two, this this may be one of our more boring episodes, but I think our future episodes and our first episode will be more entertaining. We just wanted to put out some factual evidence out there.
Hmm. Yep. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, I don't think that this show should be. I almost said podcast. this show should be entirely just based around entertainment. I mean, we're going to do better with entertainment over time. Like the more continuity we have, the more jokes we'll, relay back to it, things like that. But I mean, like, we're obviously new to this, but also we just want to help people. We don't really, we're not just trying to do this just so that we can make you laugh. We want you to also listen to this and take something out of it and hopefully better yourself in some way or maybe help other people around you,
To make
So,
someone's day better.
huh?
Make someone's day better too.
Someone's day better. Make everybody, at least one person, have a better day every day. That sounds like a good slogan that should be on a t-shirt. All right, David, do you have any more things? Do you have any more fingers you want to put up before we leave?
0.
All right. Adios, guys. David, you can stop recording.